So Aries, let's see what each of these are saying here. Um, your main focus for April is Knight of Coins in reverse. So Knight of Coins is, I call this card the salesman card. He's Jack of Diamonds. He's equivalent to Jack of Diamonds. And this is actually the same card that the United States has as its birth card. So Jack of Diamonds or Knight of Coins is very practical. He's very grounded. He's an earth card. So he goes slowly, he evaluates things, he evaluates the bottom line, like he's a very bottom line kind of person, like thinking about the pros and the cons, and thinks about, is this going to be a benefit? Is this going to be a detriment? He thinks he's very practical. He's very, just takes his time in considering matters. So with that being featured, he is in reverse. And so there may be some difficulties in being practical, weighing the pros and the cons of something. You might need to do that. You might need to employ Jack of Diamonds energy or Knight of Coins energy. But you might be having a hard time considering the bottom line on something, like weighing the pros and cons, being patient, taking time to make a thoughtful, grounded decision. Now, this can also represent an earth sign person. So this could be a Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus that you are engaged with or involved with or is in your environment, and they're in the reverse. So for some reason, they're not showing up as themselves. If there's someone that you know who is an earth sign, who's normally very practical and grounded, but who isn't acting like that at the moment, that's what this is about. So this could either relate to you as Knight of Coins energy, that you're having a hard time accessing that. It's showing up for you, the salesman card, whatever that might mean for you. He does relate to money, and he's very good at like budgeting and practical. It's funny, with tax season coming up, I'm kind of getting that some of you are having a hard time confronting your taxes or budgeting, or, that Knight of Coins can relate to that. And also, Knights are always, they're always creative, they're always romantic, they're playful, but they can have trickster energy. So be careful. Part of what this card is saying to me is be careful that you're being honest in your taxes, because Knight of Coins in the reverse position can have trickster energy related to money. So just be aware of that. And anyway, so three things I'm going to say. One is if it's relating to you, Aries, Knight of Coins energy is showing up in terms of being practical, related to money, being grounded, budgeting, weighing pros and cons, thinking things through, considering the bottom line. Or it could be the earth sign person in your environment who is not really having your back, not seeing eye to eye with you right now, not showing up as their normal grounded selves. So if you're interacting with an earth sign person, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, you may want to take what they have to say with a grain of salt. And be sure to be honest with your taxes this year. Otherwise, it can come to bite you in the end. Just not that you aren't always, but particularly that's what this card is saying to me is, he's a card of practicality, finance. With this trickster card in the reverse, that's the low side of Jack of Coins. So I'm just saying be careful. With this in the shadow, King of Coins, what's in the shadow is usually something that's happening beneath the surface that we can't see. Again, this is an earth sign person, King of Coins. So this is can also represent Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. And this is usually someone who is at the head of the business. So this may mean that there's someone who is the boss or who is in charge of the money, who is doing something beneath the surface. I'm going to say you might really need to bring some awareness to your money, because if this is a financial manager, or an accountant, I want you to be on top of it, Aries. I want you to bring that to the surface, because stuff is happening beneath the surface with King of Coins here. Or this could potentially also mean that you're trying to run a business, but you're not accessing that King of Coins energy that is available to you. King of Coins is always the man in charge of the money, the person in charge of the money, the authority, the person who is an entrepreneur or owns their own business. So if this is related to you, for some reason you're not able to access that within it being in the shadow position, or if this is someone else who is managing money for you or is an authority figure, they're not helping you in terms of that money. They're in the shadows. So make sure you shine some light over there, Aries. What's passing away, and this is nice in the passing away position, is 10 of Wands in reverse. 10 of Wands in the upright position means that you have to like carry everything. This person's back is breaking. It's a lot of hard work. It's feeling oppressed. It's feeling like you've been carrying a load for too long. You have too much to do. You just can't seem to do it anymore. When it's in the reverse position, it's saying that you're not even acknowledging how much you have to do, or you're getting stressed out and fearful or having doubts about whether you can carry this load any further. What's nice about this Aries is that this is going to be passing away. So 10 of Wands, that feeling of I've got too much to do, I can't carry this load, I feel stressed, I feel oppressed, that feeling is going to be passing away for you in April. It's going to be dissolving away. So if some of you have been kind of checking out and not attending to responsibilities or not feeling like you can handle it all, that feeling of oppression or too much burdens, too much to carry is going to be passing away in April. So I like that for you. What's going to be approaching in April is Knight of Wands. And Knight of Wands is full of energy. He's the Knight of Fire. So he's a fire sign like you, Aries. So he has confidence, he has energy, he has enthusiasm, he's motivated, he's got all that. He's very cocky and bold. Sometimes he can show up on the low side as arrogance or being like too daring. So the fact that he's showing up in reverse in your approaching position says, use the energy that he has. He's got a lot more energy than the Knight of Coins person. Use his energy to go forward, to be motivated, to be inspired, to be daring and bold. But be careful that you don't leap before you look, is what he says. Don't be too arrogant. Don't be the first one to like jump off the cliff, because he's in the Rider Waite. He's on a horse that's on two legs jumping up. So this says, use his fiery, passionate, bold, daring, courageous energy, but be careful that you don't go overboard. Or, when it's in the reverse, it means that it's too extreme in one way or the other. So it may mean like be careful of being arrogant or too bold, too daring, too cocky. Or it says, you may be having a hard time accessing confidence, boldness, daring, adventure, enthusiasm. So see if you can turn him right side up by accessing the correct amount of adventure, of passion, of inspiration, motivation, action that this guy has available to you. He's here to help you go forward. This guy can be a stick in the mud. So it can be feeling very stuck. This is coming up for you. It's saying, you have all this energy. You have this knight, clever, playful, romantic, trickster energy available. This is like a young man who's willing and confident to go forward. But don't overdo it. And if you're not feeling his energy, try to connect with him. So in reverse, it says don't go too much, or be careful if you don't have enough. He's there to help you. Interestingly too, Aries, with this Queen of Wands in the highlight position, she's what's highlighted for April. So this is you, Aries. This is feeling, whether you're male or female, this is feeling vital, feeling passionate, feeling, if you see the sunflower blooming, she's connecting to sun energy, which is fire energy, which is her element, which is, fire. She is attractive, she's witty, she's charming and bold and knows how to laugh at things. She's just a very fun, sparkly, enthusiastic, sunny person to be around. So that's highlighted for you for April. It's funny with seeing these two jacks in reverse, there may be a way, Aries, that there are two younger people, potentially a fire sign, so Sagittarius, another Aries, or Leo, and an earth sign that could be vying for your attention. that could be, knights that are that are questing for this queen. So keep in mind, though, there might be a king involved that you're not seeing because he's in the shadows. This guy might be worth waiting for. If that dynamic is happening, there's a lot of people involved in April for you. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 court cards. Looks like there's 1 woman involved and 3 men. Now, I'm also getting, for some of you, this is saying don't go for the young Jack personality type guys because they're in reverse, but the king, the more mature one who has his act together, maybe the owner of a business. Again, king of coins is usually the guy in charge of the money, the guy with authority, the guy who's well established. He's earth sign usually, or he can just have the archetype of an established earth person. So all of that is going on for you, Aries, in April. Again, this could be a person in your environment, and this could be you, Aries. So if you're looking at the bottom line of something, if it has to do with your finances, taxes, assets, physical earth stuff, for some of you it might be health, that's in reverse, but you've got Knight of Coins to energy to tap into. And this is the salesman card. It's also saying it may not be a great time to make any purchases. Wait until Venus goes back direct for that. No, not a good time to say paint the house, not a good time to have major cosmetic surgery or any like a haircut. Wait on any of that stuff, especially anything that requires a negotiated contract. It's not favored until after Venus goes direct. I would even say wait till the end of April if you can. So that's my analysis of the 5 cards in the center here for you for April. That's the general reading. Then for week 1, what's going to be featured is decision making. Chariot is all about success in crossing a finish line, achieving a goal, knowing which choice to make, which way to go, whether to go left or right. Chariot accesses both the left and the right brain, so he knows when to do something on instinct. That's what these crescent moons relate to, versus when he needs to be logical and analytical. And he navigates the road very easily because he can switch back and forth between either of these horses. He can make his chariot go left or right. And so he has good judgment because he relates his decision making to being in the flow and knowing which way to turn in the midst of going forward. He's in motion and he crosses the finish line because he trusts his intuition. He trusts his decision making, and he does have victory. He does have success. He does cross that finish line. So I'm going to say decision making, especially regarding to money, may be featured for you in April. Now, both of these interestingly are on horses. The chariot is drawn by horses and Knight of Coins sits on a horse. This horse is being still. These are in motion. So while your decision making may be in motion, that will lead you to victory and success. That's in balance. Your central card is Knight of Coins. So anything regarding money needs to wait. It needs to, you need to consider the bottom line. You need to weigh the pros and cons in a very practical matter. But what I like is that the wheels are turning. You are evaluating things here. You're just going to have to really tap into Knight of Coins energy, which is very grounded, very practical, anything related to money. So you can be thinking about it. You can be deciding things. You can be evaluating things. You can be making forward progress. But I wouldn't make any major purchases while Knight of Coins or negotiate any contracts while Knight of Coins is in reverse, unless you're able to confront what's going on with him. This is the salesman card, so this is like a bad deal when he's in reverse. This is a sale that doesn't. He's not to your benefit right now in April, but you can be making decisions towards it that help lay the foundation and that help move you forward, but just don't sign any contracts or seal any deals right now. For Nine of Swords, this is for week 2. in April. So Nine of Swords usually has to do with tension, with worry, with anxiety. Swords represent thoughts and ideas, and when you can see there's too many of them here, it binds us up. So be careful in week 2 that you don't go in circles in your mind. This can sometimes be a card of like keeping yourself up at night. I'm really going to use for week 2 the saying like worry is like a rocking chair. It keeps you busy and gets you nowhere. So be sure on week 2, Aries, that you don't go in circles in your head. You're going to want to do something that relieves you of anxious tension. So any of the other signs, this is a sign of too much air. Swords represent the air element. So when there's too much air, you need other elements to balance it out, which is water. Connect with your heart, or connect with, like, go to the ocean or a lake or anything that represents a body of water for a swimming pool, or earth energy, which has to do with being in the mountains, being connected to the ground, gardening, any of that. Or the other one is fire energy, which has to do with action, with creativity, with being motivated and inspired. So anything that has to do with being active, being passionate, all of that can help take care of any of this tense, too much air, too much in your mind. You need to get out of your mind in week 2. Great time to be in your mind in week 1. Great time to be evaluating things, moving forward on stuff, taking the correct road, but don't make any final decisions regarding your money, and try to not split hairs and overanalyze. Don't overanalyze things in week 2. Don't overthink it is a big message for week 2, Aries. Week 3, you've got Ace of Cups in reverse. So aces are new beginnings, especially new beginnings of the heart. This is something that you're going to love. This is passion. This is creativity. This is the waters flowing. It's emotion. You can see there's a lot of peace regarding it. There's enlightenment. That's what this lotus represents. So aces are new beginnings, and it's sort of like the universe is handing you something that your heart is going to love. I'm going to let you know that because it's in reverse, you may be having a hard time receiving that. There's something new that wants to come into your life in week 3 that you're going to love, you're going to be passionate about. It's going to bring you peace. But you need to get yourself you need to get past whatever doubts or fears are preventing you from receiving that or beginning that area. So week 3 is a good time to begin something that you love or receive something that the universe is trying to hand to you. This can be a new romance. It can be a new job. It could be a new creative pursuit. It could be anything new that comes in that you love. This could even be like a new puppy, or it could be anything that is heart-centered. 3rd week of April. So when it's in reverse, it just means you need to remove whatever blocks are there to receive it. Usually that's doubt, fear, resistance. Remove any doubt, fear, or resistance, and this can come in week 3. In week 4, Aries, you're going to have to resist the urge to get caught up in petty battles. This is 5 of Wands. This has a lot of Mars energy. And Mars, you're comfortable with Mars. Aries is a Mars ruled sign. So you're not afraid of fighting the fight or locking horns with someone. You're comfortable there. That's what you're built to do, your warrior energy. However, this can be very petty. 5 of Wands, I usually call playing versus fighting. So I'd like to offer the opportunity to adopt a playful attitude towards whatever competition, whatever competitiveness, whatever fights, arguments, any of that that's going on in week 4. And the reverse side, it usually is the lower side of 5 of Wands. So this can be very petty arguments. It can be like tit for tat. It can even just be like annoyances of life, like traffic or paying bills or, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to invite you to lighten up in the 4th week of April. Anything that feels like aggression, anything that feels like competition, anything that feels like locking horns, anything that feels like any of this fighting energy, I want you to transform it into playing energy if you can. If you can have fun with it, like sport. instead of competition. You can look at the lighter side of this card. Look at it as playing. Laugh at it. Laugh at your problems, or laugh at your any stupid stuff, any petty little details that come up that might be causing frustration, red fire, Mars energy. So that's my invitation to you for week 4 for any of that shows up. So that's my reading for you for April, Aries. I just want to encourage you to take your time with making decisions, especially regarding money. This is a great month for you to show up as yourself. You're sunny, bright, vivacious is a good word for this. Charismatic, bold, the Queen of Fire, that's you. That's highlighted for April. But you might have to look over some people who are acting on from the young side of themselves. If you need to access your confidence, you've got the Knight and the Queen, both saying that that's ready to come forward. Be on the lookout for someone in the shadows, both either good or bad, as King of Coins, the entrepreneur, the man with the money, the financial advisor, the business owner. He could just be waiting in the shadows for you, or he could be handling something that you need to shine some light on. And mostly look forward to letting go of this feeling of oppression and having too much to do. That's going to be dissolving away for you.